I'm joined now by Mr. Jean-Yves Garnier, Head of Energy Studies at the IEA. Now, thanks so much for joining us. Give us a feel for how important it is that you come together with the other organisations and deliver the Joint Oil Data Initiative. You've been doing this for a few years, but it's growing in importance now.
Well, where should I start? If you remember, at the end of the 90s, there was a lot of volatility. I will not say there is no more volatility today, but there was a lot of volatility. And the blames were put on statistics and on statisticians. So we had the idea of gathering the 6 major international organizations dealing on statistics to think about what could be done to improve the situations. So we met first in Paris in November 2000 to think what we could do. And then we discovered that some of the organizations were not collecting any monthly statistics. So we say, okay, why we don't try to have a common approach, to have the same questionnaire to send to our member countries, OPEC to its member countries, IEA to its OECD countries, OLADES, and so on and so forth. And we did. And we were very successful because after 6 months, we had already 55 countries participating. After 1 year, you had 70 countries, and now we have around 100 countries. So to answer your questions, to make it short, it's essential to have global coverage. Oil, if there is one commodity which is global, it's oil. So knowing the situations for OECD countries is not enough. Knowing the situations for OPEC is not enough. You need to have a global view on what the situations. And the only way you can do on a very efficient way is to associate all the main organizations dealing with oil and oil statistics. And that's what we did, and that's what JODI has been doing, and we are very successful. You know that now we have, as I said, 100 countries. Just to take another figures, in the past, you had only a handful of countries which are in the positions of submitting M-1 data. And when I say handful, including OECD countries, now, last year, consistently, every month, you had over 70 countries which are now in the positions of reporting M-1 data. That's a baby, as a product, a sub-product of the JODI initiative.
Now, of course, all of this is voluntary. How are the countries responding? Is everybody behaving themselves? And I know you actually have some stringent standards whereby you're putting checks in place too in terms of how they're doing it, the timeliness, the completeness, all of that. How is that actually going?
Well, when you say it's a voluntary basis, well, not anymore for several organizations. If you take the IEA, after the first 2 or 3 years of the initiative, we move from something which was on a voluntary basis to something which is binding. There was a decision of our governing board, to impose to our member countries to report on a monthly basis JODI data. If you take Eurostat for the European Commission, for the EU countries, it's not anymore voluntary. They are also binding. OPEC, well, you can ask OPEC, but I think also there was a decision, to have the OPEC countries reporting. So for most of the organizations, it's not anymore something which is voluntary, which is something which is already binding. So that gives us, at least for us at the IEA, the power to investigate with our member countries the quality and their reporting. We are doing it very carefully. Every month when we receive our JODI data, we compare with the 1 month later with the monthly oil statistics, the official statistics of the IEA.